Hello, my name is Marvin Goodley, and welcome to Trust Fund Baddies podcast, episode 6. I am a dating coach, expert, and consultant, and today's topic is that dating apps are ruining relationships. Tinder was never meant to be an app where you go and find your long-term partner. I mean, let's be for real. For a lot of us, I was introduced to Tinder, at least those of us that are, in the mid, late 20s, even, early 30s. This was a hookup app. You had this in college. It was one of those more taboo apps, no one really heard of, and you would be out of town. You go on there to see if you could find a pretty girl that lived there, and if you did match with her, more than likely you're probably going to hook up with her. Same thing even with Hinge, but Hinge was just a higher tier Tinder. It was just higher quality women. They had better jobs, better looking, just better everything. It was just a more premier Tinder, right? And then so initially I feel like even Hinge was a very fun app, right? Because once again, it was a casual app. But when they not only gamified it to become this, so you're going to find your lifelong partner, and now you're just onboarding so many people as well, and then you're putting all these paywalls in front of people to get access to high quality women. The women now are just getting on here for the attention, and they have this dopamine rush from all the people that are just giving them likes and roses. You lose the meaning of it. It just wasn't supposed to be that. I mean, no disrespect to people that have found the love of their life, but Tinder and Hinge was never supposed to be Match.com. It was supposed to be a very casual app. But when it became this app where you're supposed to now find your person, and then they now put extra layers for you to get the high quality women, and women are now on here for the wrong reasons. It's ruined the entire ecosystem. I don't think these apps were supposed to go mainstream, but the moment they did go mainstream, they just kind of lost their value, and so get off the apps, in my opinion. If you're there for a casual hookup, sure, why not? But if you really want to find your person, you need to be outside talking to women in person. There's nothing new under the sun. But yet, we've just become lazy. Not even we've thought that this is a more efficient way, because in ways, maybe, but it's just a lazier way. And even if you think about the time you have to invest into swiping before you get a match, or just into investing into trying to get a match, it's so much time. It's so much time. You're here and you're spending literally hours at a time just trying to get a match. Then you run out of likes, you come back the next day. It's such a time-consuming process. Whereas if you just would have spent even 5 minutes approaching a woman on the street, you would get a higher success rate. 5 minutes, you can literally, the amount of women you can talk to in 5 minutes and either get her number or at least get a confidence boost to go talk to a more attractive woman that you didn't see later on, it's just a way higher return on your investment than the 50 minutes you're going to have to spend being on Tinder or Hinge, because you don't just stop at one app. You swipe through one app, then you open the next app. That's where the time adds up. Because one app, you'll probably be on there 25 minutes if you're really locked in, swiping. Okay, because if you have high standards, all right, she doesn't look good, I want this certain body type, you'll be there. You'll be there. It'll take some time to really go through and like the women that meet your criteria. But you don't just stop on one app. You then go to another app. Now you leave Tinder, you go to Hinge. Or you leave Hinge, now you're on Bumble. It's an ongoing cycle, and these apps know that they've gotten men in a chokehold. And they know that it's become this process of keeping you on the app. It's just like being on Instagram, how Instagram has, Instagram will show you certain things on your discovery page. Even if I get it, guys, are like, oh, I don't get that on my discovery page. I don't get, half naked women or a lot of booty and this and that. I go and I either say uninterested. But if you're starting a brand new page on Instagram, I can assure you, the first thing you're going to see from the algorithm is going to be half naked women. It's going to be some booty. It's going to be some tits. It's going to be something to keep you scrolling on the app. Now, of course, yes, once you even find out what you like, even if it's not the distraction things, these apps keep you distracted, because let's say you like fishing. What is Instagram going to give you? All these fishing reels. Let's say you like business, it's going to give you all this business stuff. You like crypto, it's going to give you all this crypto content. You like stocks. The point of the matter is these apps know what you like. So it's going to feed you things and just keep you on these apps. So specifically these dating apps, usually they're giving you women that they know are already getting a lot of likes. They're not going to respond to you. You're going to waste your like instead of feeding you women that, okay, yes, this is a woman that, yes, she's actually here looking for a match. More than likely, she engages with her matches. These apps aren't feeding you type of women. They're feeding you women that are going to keep you on the app. Not only that, they also feed you women that, yes, you're going on dates. But what's going on these dates? They're not taking you anywhere. You get to a first date, it doesn't get to a second date. You get to a second date, it doesn't get to a third date. Get to a third date, you realize she's been using you on dates. Because I hope you're not going to 4 and 5 dates with a woman with no return on your investment. I just hope not. So you're seeing that the time you invest on these apps for these women, the return on your investment is low. The quality of women that are usually using these apps are low. I personally used to always look at a woman and be like, why are you on the app? If I see a woman on the app, I'm low-key kind of like, I'm kind of judging her, to be honest. I'm kind of like, why are you on this app? You shouldn't be on this app, especially if she looks good. It's like, men should be approaching you in person all the time. So why are you on this app? It begs the question, why is she on the app? Good-looking women should not be on the app. They should be getting enough attention that there's some man that in person, whether it is or Instagram, there's no reason why a good-looking woman to me should be on the app. So when I see a good-looking woman on the app, I'm thinking she wants a casual relationship. I hope you can't be there for nothing serious. It's an app. How are you on the app looking for something serious? That's my true question in my mind. Like, we just met on the app. How? There's no way we just met on the app. Once again, I get it. Some of you guys, you found the love of your life. You've seen other people that have done it. No disrespect to you, nonetheless. It's an app, yo. All it is, and you see, it's back to, it has to be an in-person engagement, because if she's feeding into your energy, she's not going to waste your time for the jump. But if a woman is matching you based off what she see beforehand, there is no way, there's no world where that is a pure intent. And she's looking at, okay, he has this, that, and that. Granted, I see even in person, she's still looking at what you have, but on an app, there's so much more she's able to look into, because usually, what are you trying to do as a man? You're trying to flex. You're trying to show off so much, trying to show, I got this kind of lifestyle, you know, I do these kind of things. And as opposed to in person, it's just, what's the energy? What's the vibe? You know, of course, you have the exterior, the aesthetic that she's looking at, you're looking at. But then it's just like this, two individuals, and the body language and the energy that's just there in person is completely different from what you have to, you know, pre-qualify on an app and then hope you achieve in person. That's why we had all these things like these whole catfish situations. You got the Tinder swindler. It's just like so many negative things come from apps, man. They're not meant to be for long-term relationships. They're just really there for casual relationships. And if you're using the app for that purpose, kudos to you. Good luck, enjoy yourself. But if you're trying to find the love of your life on an app, what are you doing? It's pointless. It's pointless. I really think it's pointless. More men need to take the time, go outside, go into the field, approach women. There's not a lot to it. You see a beautiful woman, you say, hey, you look really beautiful. I was really captivated by you. I had to approach you and introduce myself. That's it. And if she's interested in you, you know what she's going to say? She's going to say, oh, wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. She's going to more than likely stop unless she's heading somewhere. She might be like, oh, I'm going somewhere. You can walk with her and talk with her. But if she really likes you, she's going to stop. She's going to converse with you. And you're going to tell her simply, where are you from? She's going to say, oh, I'm from so-and-so. Great. Well, I don't want to hold you up. I would love to get your number and take you out. That's it. That's it. Because a lot of times what you end up doing is sitting there and trying to talk too long. But if you see her and you already have this pre-qualified notion of what you want from a woman in terms of looks, the energy there, you know, how she carries herself, her mannerisms, the eye contact she makes with you, all these things has to be there. If the body language, all that is there, then you just don't waste time. You simply say, hey, I'd love to get your number. I'd love to take you out. That's it. Instead of you being on the app, having to send multiple, you know, messages, wait for her response, hope she responds, then you agree to a place, you get there, the vibe's already not there. Because if you're approaching her in person, if you don't like the vibe already, then it's no loss at all. You don't have to text her. There's so many women I approach in person, and I'm talking to her, but I'm like, nah, she wasn't really into me enough. I don't text her back. Like she has to give me some type of energy that tells me she likes me. She wants to actually get to know me. And then even better, if she doesn't reply, guess what? I just save some money. Why am I upset? Why are you upset? And then you can do this so many times because once again, dating is a numbers game. It takes so many women you have to approach to first become better at talking to women, to find out the type of woman you like, to find out the type of woman you don't like. You have to invest. Dating is like going to college. You got to pay a tuition. You got to pay. You have to invest the time. You got to go through these women. You got to take the losses. You got to make the mistakes. You got to say the wrong thing. You have to invest the time into dating. If not, you're not going to get the return on your investment. And that's why if you're not out here approaching women, if you're not out here, sharpening your sword, making yourself better, building your confidence, if you're trying to just hide behind an app, you're going to just get these women that don't really lead you anywhere. That's why even if you're on an app and you're getting successful, there's very few men that actually go from the app to marrying that woman. There's very few men. That's why I say if you're using the app for casual relationships, kudos to you. Do your thing. Don't change. You have the system figured out. And it's the best thing going for you. Don't change. Don't listen to me. But if you're tired of being on the app and you're getting these women that they're just not lifelong partners, or they're just not individuals that just give you a lot of value add, because once again, she's on the app looking for a retirement plan. You think these women are on the app looking for something real? That's why I said if it was casual, it makes sense. But how can you be on an app looking for something real with me? I'm just another resume to you. You're like, and I get it. That is a process of dating, but literally, most of these women, they're on these apps and they're like, okay, where can I cash out on? It's just like being on Instagram, being on TikTok, being on wherever else. If a woman is meeting you on the virtual web, it's just not real. It's not real. It's virtual. It's virtual. It's artificial. We keep trying to recreate what is it's like supernatural thing. To approach a woman and to deal with a woman, that is like from the gods. That's from God. That is from God. That is from above. Like, that is what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be on these apps trying to find a woman. We're supposed to be asking the women in person, seeing her from afar, seeing if we like her, seeing if we like her face, her body, how she walks. Then when we talk to her, for me, I don't like to be long. You want to ask some more questions, where you from? I like to ask where you from, and when that usually takes to, okay, I'm from here. I'm like, oh, you originally from here? So I go down from so-and-so, oh, yes. I'm like, okay, nice. I'm like, you in school, or like, what brings you here? If you're not from here, you're in school, what brings you here? So there's ways you can ask more open-ended questions to, further along and qualify this woman, but you can literally qualify her before the date. You can ask everything you need to know, and that is, as a man, you take the time, you got to build a system. If you don't have a system, you need to work on a system. I help men who don't have systems. That is why I'm a dating coach and consultant. I created Trust Fund Baddies Academies to help men who don't have a system, because if you don't approach dating like a business, you're going to be in a limbo. You're going to be in a hamster wheel. And the men that don't want to get help to make a system, that is why they suffer. These are the same men that end up having to have these big divorces because they didn't build a system early on. They think if they can just wing it from here until forever, you're going to be at this high point of your life, and there's going to be one woman. She's going to come, sweep the rug under your foot. You're going to fall on your back. It's never happened to you before. You've never been that madly in love. So many men have never truly been in love. That's why I can speak to you about women and speak to you about these things, because I've actually been in love. I know what it's like to give a woman my all. I know what it's like to almost lose my all for a woman. And unless you've been in that position, you just don't understand. You don't understand. It's like a guy who started so many businesses and failed until he finally got his win. Until you've actually been a person that giving your all to a business, your identity, your purpose, you're giving your soul, you're giving everything to it. Everyone has seen you fail, and they've seen you literally just take a toll on your life. Until you've been in that position, you just don't understand what women are capable of, and you need to get the help. It's like trying to go into anything without the experience. You need to get a professional to walk you through these things. If I get in any type of legal trouble, I'm not trying to represent myself. I'm hiring a lawyer, someone that's already put the time in and that can coach me. Because sometimes you don't have people in your life that can coach you on it. Your dad doesn't have the experience. Your mom isn't able to tell you these kind of things. Because at the end of the day, these are a different generation, a different breed of women. This is a new era of women. Women from the past are like, yeah, we don't even understand these type of girls. These girls are different. Women are becoming, more promiscuous. They're becoming, less loyal. They're becoming, honestly, more man-like in every shape or the form. But that is not a good thing. Yes, women's freedom and, all that stuff, I get it. Liberating yourself sexually, it's a great thing. But men, we know that a man that is not having discipline within himself, he's falling to the wayside. It leads him to damnation. There is no pride as a man you should take into sleeping with a lot of women. It's okay, cool, yes, you're able to do it. But there's nothing good that comes from it. Any man that sleeps with a lot of women can say it's not a good thing. So when you get this era of women that now they move like men, they just have these one-night stands with you, they ghost you the next day, they're cold, they don't care. These women don't care. And you're moving along in an emotional state, thinking that, okay, if you give more, she's gonna care. No, and even worse, you met her online. You met her on an app, you swiped. And now you're head over heels over a girl you met on an app. You're wondering why it's not working. It's a new era, gentlemen. You cannot use traditional way of thinking with modern women. It just doesn't work like that. And the best way to do that is, as one, become, in a lot of ways, you gotta keep that old school way of dating. You gotta be a player, man, in the sense of you can approach her in person, you can be smooth, you can be kind, yet ruthless, because that's what it takes. It's a balance. It is a balance. You can't just be this good boy. She's not responding well to that good boy. It's a mix of good and bad. You gotta be a vigilante in dating. If you're dating, trying to be Superman, you're cooked. You gotta be Batman. You gotta be. And that is what it takes too, because the reality of it, men, for a lot of you, most of you will die alone. You will die single. But there is nothing wrong with that. But what you can have in that process is a lot of enjoyable experiences with women that add value, and they can also fill your life. We're not all meant to get married. That's for some, that's our goal, but for a lot of us, that's just not the purpose we're put on here to do, is to get married. Some of us won't be able to achieve that. And a lot of it will be because you tried, some of you may get married, you may get divorced, but to get married, to live happily ever after, that is not something a lot of us is going to be able to achieve. But what you can have is the right mental fortitude to navigate your love life, so that you're not looking at it as like it's something you have to achieve. If you get it, good. But if you don't, it's still good too. You can still be at peace. It's a stoic mind as a man you have to be able to uphold and achieve to date well. I'm able to date with peace, not because I'm thinking, man, I have to get my wife. If I find my wife, great. I'm the type of guy I know, if I want some kids, I can have some kids. I'm not gonna have it with the wrong woman, but whatever I want with the woman, I know I can achieve at some point. Because the reality is, if you don't give up, you can still get married when you're 70, 80. Some people do it. It's up to you what you wanna do. So where you go in dating, it all just starts with taking control of it. You have to put yourself first, take care of yourself, take care of your finances, your health, and then put yourself out there. And even if you put yourself out there, it doesn't mean that you're going to have the happy ending, but you can still have a happy life. You can still have a very enjoyable life. You can still travel the world, meet so many different women that teach you so many different things. You have so many experiences. Because I met even so many older men, when they get in their older stages of life, they just pay for women to be their friends. And that's really what happens to a lot of men when you get older. You have to make sure you take care of yourself financially, because then you just pay a woman to be your friend. That is the reality of it. That's why I say, yeah, you don't get the happy ending, but you can still be happy. But that doesn't start with you being emotionally overwhelmed with women. You have to separate yourself from that. And if this is something that connects with you, you're a guy that's crushing it in your corporate world, you're crushing it in the boardrooms, you're making the 6, 7, 8 figures, but in your love life, you're just falling apart. They're not sticking around, you're not able to get the second dates, you're not able to get any dates, you don't know the last time you've been able to hold a woman's hand. Things like that are resonating with you. I want you to click the link in my bio and apply for Trust Fund Baddies Academy. I help men just like you all over the world, and I'm helping you reframe your psychology so that you can date and be at peace. You can navigate the waters and you can just have a calm, because if you're not able to be emotionally stable as a man, women will never be able to be around you and to want to be just in your presence, because you have to be just so neutral that a woman is able to just come into your life. But if you're a man that you're just so anxious, you want to just hold it down and you want to just force her to be there, it's not going to work for you. But if you want to take the time, you want to put the practice in, I created Trust Fund Baddies Academy. The link is in the bio.